The citizens of Charlotte, North Carolina just became the latest Americans to organize and push back against the violent and racist Trump agenda. In case yesterday's Epstein vote wasn't enough, in case the Democratic blowout wins in elections earlier this month were not enough, you'll have a reason to have some faith in your fellow Americans after this story. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. Donald lame duck apologists love to cite the issue of immigration as an area where Trump has been successful in his second term and where he has a high approval. Of course, those numbers didn't hold out to the present. While Trump militarized the border and stopped illegal crossings, his administration has also engaged in violent tactics perpetrated by masked stormtroopers, which is not how things are supposed to work in this country. Worse, he's purposely targeted Democratic-led cities and states in doing so. Most recently, that includes the state of North Carolina, presided over by Democratic Governor Josh Stein. Trump recently deployed ICE agents and militarized police to the city of Charlotte. Have a look at how that is going.
Tonight, federal agents ramping up their immigration crackdown in Charlotte. The Department of Homeland Security says Border Patrol has arrested more than 130 people since Saturday. Among them, they say, are criminals with a history of assault, DUIs, and gang affiliation. DHS not specifying how many of those detained have criminal histories.
Too many times we're finding that some very, very disreputable individuals are seeking work in people's homes.
Across the city, encounters turning angry and chaotic. Officers breaking this man's car window. Confrontations turning violent at times. DHS says one officer was injured when a man drove a van into a law enforcement SUV. 24-year-old citizen Miguel Martinez, now charged with felony assault. Today, one witness telling NBC News more than 20 Border Patrol agents showed up at a community center for refugee and immigrant children. No children were present.
This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
It's scary. Some residents say their citizenship isn't enough to feel safe. Jonathan Ocampo's parents immigrated here from Colombia. He showed us the passport he now carries everywhere.
It's sad that, I'm not going on an international trip or anything, but I have to carry this.
Hispanic-owned businesses closing their doors to avoid becoming targets. Manolo's Bakery shuttered for a third straight day. Owner Manolo Betancourt stands guard outside, sounding his whistle when he thinks he spots Border Patrol. How long do you plan to keep your bakery closed?
As long as it takes.
And if that disgusts you, congratulations, you still have a moral compass and are not a sadist. And if that footage you just saw depresses you, stay with me here. I promise you will feel better by the end of this report. It's interesting that in that clip we saw citizens carrying passports for protection in their home nation. Earlier this year, during the No Kings protests, I recommended protesters do the same in one broadcast. I got a message shortly thereafter from a viewer asking if we should even have to do that. And the answer is no, we should not. Not in the United States. The Founding Fathers, for all their flaws, would have abhorred this kind of police-state militarism. They'd seen it in Europe. They never wanted that here. So once again, Donald Trump doesn't just violate norms, he violates America. But back to Charlotte. The people of that great American city share in my disgust over the treatment of citizens and non-citizens in that city alike. And now they're sending a clear message to Donald Trump. Screw you, Taco.
Now, senior political and national reporter Jacob Soboroff. Jacob attended a training session held at a church in North Carolina where hundreds of people learn what to do if federal agents come to their communities. Jacob, good morning.
Hey, guys.
What did you see in that church, and what is the level of fear that you feel on the ground?
Well, first of all, what I saw in Charlotte is the same thing I saw in Los Angeles and the same thing I saw in Chicago. And it is, we should be really clear, it is indiscriminate, taking people off of the streets, not going after the worst of the worst. Some of these states, including California, honor requests by the federal government to turn over the worst of the worst out of the state prisons. North Carolina, all of the local jurisdictions under state law are required to turn over people inside their jails to ICE under detainer requests. But they're going to the streets and they're chasing after people that are trimming bushes, cleaning up leaves in the fall that are falling off the trees in residential neighborhoods. It is bonkers, frankly, when you see it yourself. And Joe, you said we need some heroes in this country to step up. Mike said in November, people will show up and make their voices heard. But I think arguably they are already doing that. And so I went to the Dilworth United Methodist Church, where on a Monday night, 300 people showed up to be trained on what to do. This is inside the church on Monday night. If ICE comes to your neighborhood, in order to help fellow residents of places like Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is not a Latino crowd. This is a largely white crowd in a very affluent neighborhood that wants to stand up and push back. And let me show you a little bit of what so what these guys are doing right here, by the way. They put on vests, they blow whistles when ICE comes to their neighborhood to say, get out of here. And they're stopping ICE from picking up some of these people on the streets. Listen to what one of the pastors, one of the organizers told me about this effort. How does it make you feel to know that all these people showed up on a Monday night and you got many more of these to do?
Yeah, it makes me grateful and reminds me of how much our community loves each other, and our community wants to support. That people don't come out on Monday nights, right, to anything, and so that people are showing up right now and spending their valuable time to learn how to care for each other and protect each other. I don't even have words for it.
So that's one pastor from the United Methodist Church in Charlotte, he's from a town outside of Charlotte. But, you know, I just think about, you see the Pope, who's from Chicago, one of the cities where the raids are taking place, speaking out in a way that we heard Pope Francis talk about it, but not in English, not like this Pope is talking about it. I think that there is just like family separation, I think we're starting to see people take to the streets in really vocal opposition in a way that President Trump has shown before that he will ultimately back down.
I told you that you would feel better. The people of Charlotte are invoking the spirit of America here, one that eschews violence and cruelty, one that uses peaceful protest as free speech, and one that refuses to let our country become a police state bent on cruelty. This is what so many Americans take for granted, especially those who don't vote. Every day, every election, we have a choice in this country, a moment to decide what's the best we can be. Those options are not always great. Sometimes our candidates aren't even likable at all. But there's always a choice. And in this moment, where a corrupt and demented president wants to make the United States into a money machine for himself and a jailer for the rest of us, we have a choice to use our voices to push back. My heart and gratitude go out to the people of Charlotte for leading the way. And, my beautiful viewers, this is just the beginning. Remember to subscribe to stay up to date as Americans start to take their cities back from Donald Trump. This is Occupy Democrats.